Holy shit, guys. Breaking news from the set of Pretty Little Liars. We finally got an answer to something. Tippy is alive. After weeks and weeks of wondering, many of your concerns can be laid to rest because we alas know that A has been taking great care of Tippy and changing out their cage liner. What's up, guys? It's Angela, and for some reason I am super excited about Pretty Little Liars again. Maybe it's because I've went back and started watching season 3 and have this great theory brewing. But I cannot wait for next week's episode. This is going to be my episode recap for season 5, episode 23, which is called The Melody Lingers On, which it does. On and on and on. We hear that damn French song throughout this entire episode. If anybody knows the name of it, please let me know because I have no idea what it's called. I don't speak French. I barely speak English. I'm just kidding. So the episode starts off with Allie, Mr. De Laurentiis, who's suddenly back in the picture, and Allie's lawyer talking about how the trial's gonna go, where everything is seated, and then we flash to our favorite inmate, Hannah, with her mother, and she is saying she is sure Allie did this to her daughter, and Hannah's trying to tell her about the truth, but Mrs. Marin does not care. She just wants to get her daughter out of jail. And the 3 liars that remain on the outside of lockup are all meeting at Spencer's house. And Spencer's mother says, I suggest you girls don't go to the trial, which is starting tomorrow. But to Spencer, it is not a suggestion. We later find out she forbids her to go to the trial. Her foot is down. I mean, it is down. She's like, you're not going. Period. End of story. Since when did any of these girls listen to their parents? They don't even listen to figures of law enforcement. Why would they listen to you guys? I mean, am I right? Do we ever remember them listening to their parents recently? So we find out that Varjak/A is not answering the number on the receipt. The girls have tried calling it, and Spencer asks Caleb for a burner phone. They figure out the number, says, did you miss me, love Holly, or something like that. And they actually send a text using a burner phone. Now, this was very interesting to me because, like I mentioned, I am working on a major theory. I'm trying to figure out who A is, and I think I'm on a good track. I don't know. I could be way off base here. I don't want to really get into it until my predictions for finale, or maybe I'll do a theory video talking about this and naming my prime A suspect. But I'm just going to give a little bit of detail. So I think A is a man, and I think this can be proven most definitely tonight. We know there's only one A suspect, or only one A at this time. There's no team. There's only one active A, if Marlene is not lying to us yet again. But they were shredding the Paul Varjak social security card at the very end. Now we know A is going around and looking at houses and apartments and all this stuff. And it would go to reason that they would need a social security card for some things. So obviously this has to be a man, because if I go and I present my social security card and it says Paul Varjak on it, people are going to be like, this is fake. Only guys are named Paul. When we go back to season 3, episode 1, the very first text that the girls get from the new A is show me your boobs. This is very immature, which could be referring to a man. And then at the end of that very same episode, there is another text that said, Mona played with dolls, I play with body parts. Game on, bitches. A lot of people think that this might refer to Ren, or it could just refer to a guy in general. Girls would go with dolls and body parts would go with guys, just because guys are more brutal and physical than girls. Also, game on, bitches makes me think of someone that is really competitive besides Spencer Hastings. I mean, we all know she has to win everything. But what if, because guys are overall more competitive than girls are. It's just a fact of life. So I definitely think this episode we found out that A was a guy, and it's also referenced in the Mona's anagrams for Charles De Laurentiis. Who the hell is Charles De Laurentiis? I don't think it's going to be a random that we're just meeting. I would be pissed if that is the case. Do you guys think Charles De Laurentiis is A? But anyway, I got so sidetracked on talking about my theory. That's not all of the details, so that's just a little brief overview, and I'm going to mention something later on in the video. I just found it weird that Spencer sent a text signed by Holly, okay, to Varjak. Now we know that Varjak and Holly were lovebirds, and what if Varjak could be Toby? Because didn't Marlene say we've seen A in a hoodie before? We've seen Toby in a hoodie before. What if they are going with an easy route and saying that, you know, Toby is A? What if Spencer knows Toby is A? I read a while ago on Twitter that the two actors, Troy and Keegan, sat down and had a meeting with Marlene, and they were both being really cryptic and tweeting, this is a meeting you guys really want to be in on. What if Spencer's figured it out, but is turning a blind eye and really doesn't realize the full ramifications or the full story? There you go. The full story of what's going on. You know, do you guys think Toby could be A? Sorry for my crazy off the wall theories tonight. Like I said, I'm just so excited again. I really recommend if you are in a giant PLL slump like I was, to go back and start watching season 3 because it's going to give you something to do. Like, I'm trying to find out who A is by the finale, and I think that's going to be really fun to do my ultimate A video. So yeah, sorry about the theories. I know I just stick to straight line recaps and then do theories at the end, but I'm excited. I can't help myself. So there are a lot of tensions running around in this episode. We see that Jason is super pissed at Spencer because of what she made him do. And we also see that Andrew is super tired of hearing Mona's name. You know, he's like, she's not the only one that was on these teams. I'm tired of hearing about how great she was. And Mona, if there was one thing Mona liked more than winning, it was taking the credit. So a lot of conflict going on there. I totally lost my train of thought. But yes, Jason is very mad at Spencer, and she's trying, you know, she eventually says to him, look, I like to be right. I have to be in black or white. I don't like dealing with shades of gray, and somebody knows this and is using it against me. And he's like, well, we all hate shades of gray. But she's telling him that they have to prove that Allie is innocent. I'm like, well, it's too late for that. So Allie calls Emily from jail and asks her if she is coming to the trial. Emily responds with she's going to try, and after a little bit of guilt tripping from Allison, Emily says she'll be there. So we go to the trial, and Emily is there along with Aria, Cindy and Mindy, and hot-ass Jason. Oh my God. Did you guys see the tux? Come on. Whoo, that boy was smoking. I actually had to pause it for a minute and like compose myself. He was super fine tonight. And mysteriously missing is Mrs. Vanderwall. Did you see her at all? They mentioned her the first day. I know she wasn't there the second day, but did you guys happen to catch if she was or wasn't there? I don't think she was there for either day because I didn't see her. But anyway, the prosecution opens the case, and the prosecutor is, you know, describing high school, and he's asking them if they remember how high school was. And I'm sitting there thinking, you probably don't, you old ass dinosaur, go away. He tells them that this kidnapping story that Allison made up is just that, and it has been helped grow into fruition by her imagination and her friends lying with her. Obviously the 4 girls. And he says that they have witnesses that can prove this. And I read, or I heard somewhere recently, that there is going to be a surprise witness. Isn't there always? So Allie and Hannah are talking in jail, and Allie is clearing the air. She is saying that the passports in the house were fake. The ads in the paper were real, as well as the telephone number. She started to text the telephone number, and they responded with some lines out of a story her mother used to read to her when she was a child. And she said she knew who killed her mother. Or I said she. That they said they knew who killed her mother. Allison thinks this was Mona because the text stopped when Mona died. I am not sure what to make of this. I don't think it was Mona. I just think that, it's a convenient time for the text to stop for Allie to be truly confused about what's going on. And Caleb has a sweet little scene in jail. So cute. I'm at that point in season 3 where they break up, and so I just paused it because I know he's fixing to leave and go to Ravenswood, and I'm not going to see him again until season 5, and I'm kind of like entering a depression, but that's okay. But anyway, he's promising her, what is he promising her? My notes today, I had to email them to myself, so it's like super tiny print, so I keep pausing the video. He promises her he can help, I think, and I'm just like, Caleb, be careful what you promise. And Hannah thinks that no one is going to believe their story. She warns Caleb to leave, and he later tells Spencer that he thinks it is that Hannah was not only talking to him, but telling the girls that they should leave as well. We cut to a scene in Ezra's brew, who is mysteriously MIA, but it is Varjak calling Arya, and she is freaking out because Varjak, she thinks, doesn't even have her number. She has never contacted them from her phone before, but she picks up and it is a French song. They put it on speaker with Hannah, who says that Mona used to play it all the time. It is by Edith Piaf. I don't speak French, so I probably butchered that. And the song that I think it is, I could be wrong, I'm probably wrong, is, oh dear, here we go. Non, je ne regrette rien. I don't know. But basically, it's talking about, if it is the song that I think it is talking about how they don't regret nothing, how they don't regret anything, double negative, because they are starting their lives over from a clean slate, maybe referring to Mona being alive and starting over, going from being to being kind of shady to trying to help. So the girls obviously decide that they need to go and see Mona's room to find out if there are any clues left for them. They all leave, but Caleb hangs back to have a nice little chat with Spencer. And what I'm thinking in this scene is, dear God, Spencer, please do not stick your tongue down Caleb's throat too. Because she's talking about how she needs to bottle him up when all this is said and done and have essence of best boyfriend. What happened to Toby? I still think he's a good boyfriend, if he's not A. But come on, Spencer. This is ridiculous. You need to talk to the poor guy. We don't see him until next week. I'm just sick of her avoiding him. And I'm sick of Ezra shippers hating on Spoby fans. Like, what's up with that? And now it's time for the meat of the theory that I am working on for finale. So Arya and Emily head on over to Mona's house and are trying to get in. No one is answering the door, and I'm thinking, you dumb bitches. You broke into I don't know how many places since PLL started, and you can't break in because you haven't seen Mrs. Vanderwall. You don't hear anything inside, but you're just going to walk away and be happy. Emily makes a reference to, she says something about going down the rabbit hole. Okay, this is a reference to Alice in Wonderland. Going back to season 3, when we saw Mona laying in bed at Radley with the Queen of Hearts card in her hand. I took this before tonight's episode to reference Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, because Lewis's real name is Charles. Lewis was simply what he went by. Now, this leads me to believe that Mona knows who Big A is, and she either has a deal to protect herself, or she, like we are supposedly going to feel, is that it is, heartbreakingly beautiful and is on A's side. But I just took that to be a really big clue that Mona knew or knows who Uber A is. And I don't know why she wouldn't be telling them. I have to watch more, and I have to really work on pulling this theory together by March 24th. But yes, I'm super excited about it. I have a whole bunch of like pages in my notes dedicated to things about A, mainly that it's a man, and I don't think it's Caleb. I think I ruled Caleb out. But let me know if you guys think Mona knew or knows who Uber 8 is, if you think it's a man or a woman. I would be curious to get your thoughts. So Veronica is forbidding Spencer to go to Allie's trial, and Spencer pretty much doesn't give a damn and walks out the door. She says she doesn't care what people say about her. I was like, damn, go Spencer. So back at the trial, the prosecution is grilling Jason, who is changing his testimony, and the prosecutor is saying, you know, well, how often did you spend social time with Ashley Marin, who is, you know, the mother of Hannah Marin, an accomplice in this case? She could have asked you to change your mind because at first you were so sure it was your sister, and now you're kind of hesitant and wobbly. Mrs. Vanderwall is in hiding. I can't say I blame her. If it were my daughter's trial, I would be MIA as well. I wouldn't want to be drugged through that media circus. And the girls, well, they are knocking on the door. They don't get an answer, and they're walking away yet again when they hear music playing from Mona's bedroom with the window mysteriously open. The girls go back to the door and hey, it's unlocked. And they go into Mona's room and there's a big shiny A sitting right there on the record player. And the room is basically been ransacked. All the girls are like, well shit, A beat us to the punch yet again. What are we going to do? Except Arya. Arya's like, maybe A did this to throw us off because they don't know how Mona's mind works. Maybe they didn't find anything. Maybe they didn't even search it at all. They just want to get us out of here. So they decide to think like Mona, and that is when Spencer goes and picks up a mirror and pulls it open, and what does she find but this index card that has gained all this fame in tonight's episode. There are 3 things written on this index card. The first thing is Chandelier's Ritual, followed by Sister Launched Lair, and the last is a Ruler's List Chained. All of them anagrams for none other than Charles De Laurentiis. Who the hell is Charles De Laurentiis? Is this who A is now going by? Does A have a connection with the De Laurentiis family? I've heard theories that they do, and that is why Allie mentioned, when Allie mentioned the story her mother used to read to her, that is why A was texting her lines from it, because they've been inside the De Laurentiis family before. But what are your thoughts on that? Let me know if we think that A might be a long-lost relative of the De Laurentiis family. That would be crazy. That would be so messed up. This video is going to take so long to upload. I'm so sorry. Anyway, we go to outside on the street, and Andrew is watching the girls like a lurch. They decide to leave the Vanderwall house after finding that one thing. They did not turn this room over like they should have. If they did, it didn't show, obviously. But as they're leaving, it shows a broken window with a screwdriver in the floor that is to Boo Boo's Ice Cream. I didn't know Boo Boo's Ice Cream made screwdrivers, but at the end of the episode, we see it being tested for what I'm assuming is DNA by the police. I don't know. Andrew probably called the damn cops, and now he's going to be the surprise witness in the trial. Then we go to Allie and Jason in jail. And Jason is telling her that he believes she didn't kill anybody. She responds with, I let a lot of things happen that I shouldn't have. And she's also telling him to run. This is a common theme in tonight's episode. People are pissed at each other and other people are telling people to run and save their own asses. Well, it's a little too late for that because now you got a murder trial. And if you run during a trial, especially when you're called on, you're in big, big trouble. So at the very end, we get an A scene and a Tippy scene. I'm so excited. So great to see Tippy. But A is shredding information or paperwork from the lawyer, Mona's lawyer. There we go. Eric quoted the wrong thing. Nealon, I think his name was James Nealon. And I tried to pause it but my TV was too blurry. If you guys have like really clear resolution and you were able to see what the paperwork said, let me know. But we also get the Social Security card for Paul Varjak, which is being shredded, which is probably why Charles De Laurentiis is going to be they no longer have the need for the Paul Varjak security card. So that was pretty nuts. One other quick thing that I forgot to mention is we finally get the secrets machine come into play. Not the major role that I really wanted it to play, but we still see it to some extent, and that is Emily is cleaning up at the brew and she decides to sit down and listen to it and hear people's secrets. And I only wrote down the last one because I knew it was going to be the most important, but there was also one in there about a girl that said she broke a headlight and she wasn't sure if it was her. She doesn't remember much about that night. Do you guys think that one is going to be important at all? Do you think any of the other ones are going to be important? They played the song, the French song that the girls kept hearing during the episode as the last one, and Emily kind of freaked out. And obviously this was the one that got us the most impact and the most reaction. But if you heard any of the other ones and just happen to remember them and have any good theories about them, let me know down below. I would love to hear what you guys think. I think if there is another one that has more significance, it's going to be that one about the girl not remembering anything about that night. So that is pretty much it for my Pretty Little Liars recap and theory video. So yes, my phone is now getting mad at me because I'm talking too much. It is saying, shut your mouth, Angela, and upload me to YouTube because it's going to take all night. So that is it for my Pretty Little Liars recap and theory video this week. I know, crazy, right? Let me know what you guys think down below. Please like this video. Give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and comment down below because I'm super excited about my theory, and I'm super excited about PLL again, which is really, really weird. So if you're excited about PLL and you have some major theories or even minor theories, I would still really love to hear them. And let's get geared up for this finale together. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.